Hey guys, welcome to this video. Today we're going to be talking about the murder of Phillip Lindemuth whilst I do a painting of Darth Nihilus. Hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe down below for more. 43-year-old Phillip Lindemuth lived alone in Aloha, Oregon. He was a very kind and generous person. His sister said he loved God, country, and family, and that he led an honorable life. In fact, Phillip was so kind, he invited 32-year-old Christian De Laurentiis to live with him in early 2012. Christian De Laurentiis was a heroin addict who robbed banks to fund his addiction. He soon convinced Phillip to join in and help him out by driving the getaway car. Later the same year, it seems Phillip began to feel guilty and no longer wanted to be a part of De Laurentiis' operations. Of course, De Laurentiis was very angry about this, and an argument broke out between the two in which Phillip threatened to turn De Laurentiis into the police. This enraged De Laurentiis further. This is the motive behind the murder. In May 2012, Phillip was stabbed repeatedly with a Bowie knife, piercing his heart and lungs. Oregon Live reported. Prosecutors said De Laurentiis had planned to flush Phillip's body piece by piece down the toilet. So he cut his body into pieces using hand saws, a ski saw, a Bowie knife, hammers, and screwdrivers. Apparently neighbors heard the noises of the dismemberment late at night, but just assumed he was doing some remodeling. Once he was finished, he abandoned this plan and instead decided to store the body in the freezer in the garage. De Laurentiis continued to live in Phillip's home after the murder and drive his car all while Phillip's body was in the freezer under the same roof. Weeks later, Christian would call his cousin and confess to what he had done. He couldn't keep it to himself any longer. He couldn't be the only one to carry the baggage. His cousin then told relatives living in Oregon, and soon later Christian's stepfather would turn him in. Supposedly, the following day, investigators witnessed De Laurentiis driving Phillip's vehicle. They stopped him and questioned him about Phillip. At first he would say that he was alive and well, only to change his explanation soon after, telling the officers that he had committed suicide. Only to then later change this, saying he had killed Phillip in self-defense. Sheriff's deputies served a search warrant at Lindemuth's home later in May and found the pieces of Lindemuth's body and organs sealed in plastic bags. His head was wrapped in a bloody sweatshirt. Christian De Laurentiis was charged with aggravated murder and first-degree abuse of a corpse. He pleaded guilty to both charges in September 2014. He also pleaded guilty to the 7 bank robberies, which he had apparently stolen around $18,000 altogether. He was sentenced to 25 years for the robberies. He made a plea agreement to life in prison with a chance of parole after 41 years and 4 months, both to be served at the same time. Phillip Lindemuth's sister said, quote, "I cannot forgive the defendant for what he did to my brother, my only sibling." She said, quote, "He deserves no mercy and no forgiveness." She also said, "He stole from me my brother, the chance to say a final goodbye to him, to tell him how much I love him and how proud I was of him." De Laurentiis appeared calm and at ease and made no statement.